I'm Paivi, I'm a Finnish artist and art teacher, and I have a blog at www.pionianparakit.com, and you can also find my classes there. This time I wanted to make a video that is more like a glimpse of a day in my studio. So I wanted to show you some projects I'm working on, and also talk about the inspiration that I get from when I have some spare times. One of my most dearest hobbies is knitting, and I want to start with knitting. Even if this video is a lot about art making, I want to start it with my knitting projects, and especially this one pattern, which is Martina Behm's Lefty. I've made 5 of these, and I'm working on with the 6th one, so I'm really hooked on this pattern, and this is the last one that I finished. I call this Burberry because I think the colors and the stripes are a bit like Burberry stripes, and maybe when you look at this you get why I love this pattern, because it's like a blank canvas. You can choose the leaves, the color of the leaves as you like, and you can use multiple colors in the leaves. Like I've used a tiny white leaf there among the other colors, and you can change the color when you like, and I just love creating these. I usually get fed up with one pattern, so I usually never create many items from one pattern, but this pattern is I'm totally addicted with these, and I'm knitting my 6th lefty, which is in grey and yellow. I'm probably going to add a white leaf there too, and change the colors a bit when it gets a bit larger. I'm really enjoying creating these, and I have actually found out that this is a good excuse to buy some more yarn. That when you're in a yarn shop, I often think about that. Oh, I don't really need that yarn, and then I think about lefties, and oh yeah, I could pick a couple of colors of that luxury yarn and then make a lefty out of them. So I have a stash full of yarns that have been bought because I've thought about this pattern. I have a long history with this pattern. I started my first lefty in 2013, and I knitted 4 lefties in a row. In 2014 I finished the 4th one, and then I realized that I had got an addiction of knitting these, and I made myself to stop and knit other projects instead. It was 3 years I was dreaming about knitting that and buying yarn for that pattern and trying to just finish other projects. And when I realized that it's 3 years between all those all those scarves, I thought that that's probably not the worst addiction to have. That I gave myself a permission to knit as many lefties as I want, even if I would have not practically needed. This made me think about painting and arts in general, how how we often take breaks, and even myself, I've had a long break with painting and drawing when I was about 20 to 30 years old, and I felt that I have to focus on other things, and you know, if you're a visual person, art is always inside you, so it's not good to postpone things, because you know, life is short and we should really do what our heart tells us to do. I think it has also an aspect that sometimes we have this feeling that we want to do something but we are not ready for it, like we don't have the skills for it. It can often feel like you know, you have to gather the information and all that. And I'm all for background work, and I'm all for, you know, examining things and such. My background is strongly in engineering and design, so it's all about planning. But too much planning is not good. When I planned my lefty and I got all those beautiful skeins, then when I started the fifth one, I just used some leftovers, which weren't anything very special really. So I think that's something that happens in art too, that we sometimes plan to have a certain style, or plan to have a certain theme, or plan to develop a certain set of skills by watching the videos and such. But you know, in the end, when you start working, you might get inspired of something totally different. And while you're visiting here in my studio, I want to also create a small project during this day, and I'm going to use these lefties as my inspiration source, because I often think that we search for kind of too grand inspiration, something that our brain can't really fully comprehend. So I thought that when I've been knitting so many of these, why not just use the concept of these, use the leaves and the changing stripes as a starting point for creating an art journal page. So I'm going to create the next painting in my biggest art journal, which is Dilution's Creative Journal. And I love this journal. I've also created the video for the previous one that I got filled. And I think I'm not going to start painting so freely like I've painted this one, but maybe use a bit more this technique that I teach in my color painting class, Planet Color. Start with a bit more graphic shapes and then move on. One of the best things in art journaling is that you can create all styles of work. So I have really detailed pages, and then I have a very painterly pages, and I also have again very graphic ones, especially for the class Planet Color. I've created those, and then I have very illustrative pages. I have a class called Drawing Factory where I teach how to create drawings that are like illustrations. And I also created a lot of stuff for my longest class inspirational drawing 2.0 of Vincent van Gogh. For one class I created that. Sometimes when I start, I haven't looked carefully which side is up, so this was done upside down, but I don't mind. I've also been inspired by Georgia O'Keeffe and created a class of using watercolored papers and how you can put them in Georgia O'Keeffe's style. A collage made for the class inspirational drawing, where I teach how you can draw your own collage pieces and create collages out of them. So I have all kinds of stuff, Gustav Klimt inspired, again more drawing, more three-dimensional effects, all that. So this is a book where I'm going to add another page, and I'm going to show you how I start with the inspiration from lefty scarves, how these graphic stripes and leaves inspire me, and I have no clue what will come out of that, but it's a safe starting point, and that's what I try to make sure in each of my classes, that you always know how you start, and then you can let your imagination work a bit more loosely. And I think that when people say that they don't have imagination, they often mean that they don't have ways to start. And often the start should be simple enough so that you get going, but also diverse enough so that your imagination starts seeing all kind of things. If you start really simple and don't add enough variety to your elements, then it's also really difficult to imagine what could be created out of them. And then there's the other approach that I'm using for the big painting, and that is that I create quite a detailed sketch and then I change it along the painting.